Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Shemi Awashai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect brothers out there pushing this word in sincerity and truth. I want to jump into a quick lesson of some of the ways you can identify America in the Bible. Because America is one of the major empires. All empires were spoken of in the scriptures, but America is one of the empires that is basically a riddle or a puzzle, or it's hidden. It's not going to come straight forth and say America, because America wasn't in existence during the time of the writing of the scriptures. So you had to basically decode which scriptures is implying of America. So one of the few scriptures I wanted to focus in on is Nahum, the third chapter. I'm gonna start from the top. It says, "Woe to the bloody city," and the bloody city is America. How do we know that America is the bloody city? Well, let me finish the scripture. "Woe to the bloody city! It is full of lies and robbery, and the prey departed not." So America is the one country that's full of other man's blood, or many bloodshed, robbery, and lies. It started off with the Native Americans and Seminole Indians that were here inhabiting this land, and the so-called white man came over here and basically went to war with them and shed a lot of the Native American and Seminole Indians' blood. It's been estimated about 77 million uh, Native Americans were killed on this land. And then the so-called white man followed that up with going over to West Africa and pulling on cargo slave ships the so-called blacks, or so-called African Americans, which are the tribe of Judah, which represents Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the Negro nation, part of the nation of Israel. Carried them over here on slave ships and put them in slavery. Through the course of the slavery, it had been estimated over 100 million of the Southern Kingdom, which is the so-called blacks' blood was shed on this land, and that blood of the Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and so-called blacks, Negroes, their bloods are still being shed on this land. And also, so the land was robbed, and blood was shed, and it's full of lies. There's nothing but lies going on in this land. So that's another way that you can identify that this is talking about America. Verse 2, "The noise of a whip and the noise of the rattling of the wheels and the prancing horses and jumping chariots." That's talking about your modern day cars, armies, and vehicles, just basically vehicles that goes on the roads here. Verse 3, the horsemen lifted up both the bright sword and glittering spear, and there is a multitude slain. So in the ancient days, you had horsemen that would ride upon. You would have a man riding upon a horse with a sword in his hand. He would ride through during times of war and cut people's heads off or stab certain men, and they would kill one, maybe two men at a time. So that was in the ancient days. So this is another way you can know that it's talking about the modern day times, because it says a horseman lifted up both the bright sword and glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain and a great number of carcasses, and there is no end of their corpse. They stumble upon their corpse. That's talking about the nuclear missiles, the ICBM missiles that Esau has created in the labs. But part of those missiles that are going to be shot over here are being created by other countries, which is the reason why the so-called white man is putting out foreign policies of sanctions on other countries who have a nuclear missile program, because those missiles will be shot over here. I'm gonna start back at verse 3 again. A horseman lifted up both the bright sword and the glittering spear. And that it was called that. Nahum called it that. That was the best way he could describe the vision that he was seeing, because he knew that it was basically it was something to destroy, and it had the basically, you look at a nuclear missile, it's long like a sword, and then at the back of the missile is fire coming out the back of the missile. So to Nahum it looked like glitter, like glitter in or sparks. So that was the best way he could describe it. And there is a multitude slain, meaning he saw the missiles hit America, and he would see how much damage it was doing, how much people it was killing. It was slaying multitudes of people, and a great number of carcasses, and there is none end of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpse. So Nahum is describing this as best he can through the vision he was given by the Most High. Verse 4: because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot. As you know, America is the well-favored harlot that sat on the beast that's spoken of in Revelation 17. The mistress of witchcraft that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcraft. That's based off America, is based off witchcraft. They here is a country where spells are constantly passed upon the public, whether it's via through music, how they have witches and warlocks to basically cast spells upon masters of different songs and albums, whether it's through the television, TV programming, which is telling lies to your vision, which programs you. Because when you look at the what's being played on TV, it basically has people in trances. They watch these TV programs and they're not even getting anything constructive out of it, but yet they're glued to it. They watch their favorite programs. They got it now to where you won't miss them. You can TiVo your programs, and then they have subliminal messages through their commercials and through their TV shows and movies, and they pass these basically spells on people. Period. That's what Esau does. That's how he gets down. I'm gonna jump to verse 5. Behold, I am against thee, said the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirt upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. And one of the major ways the Most High is doing that, besides artifacts and different landmarks and different artifacts that's come in the past to help proving who the so-called devil is and what kingdom is America. The Most High set forth his prophets to go out there, because before any time the Most High has ever brought down an empire or a nation, he always sent his prophets to prophesy the downfall of that nation. So the Most High got his prophets out there, starting in the beginning with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone on down to the rest of the camps out there. Brothers that's filling up these camps are going out weekly and prophesying the downfall of this place and putting up videos throughout the week. So that's how the Most High is lifting up the skirt of Esau and the so-called white man, and also showing the nations thy nakedness, because they are the one that's in bed with this harlot. Verse 6: and I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. And that's America right there. America pushes abominations, homosexuality, bestiality. People can marry objects. They can marry animals, and they could, of course, same-sex marriage. Also, they push abominable foods. They put it in everything. You can get a bacon milkshake. Now, how crazy is that? Like, who would think to put that together? But this is what they push in this society. And that's why the other nations look at America as a gazing stock, like they doing everything over there. And then America has its influences across the world. world influences. So people in other countries are starting to adapt and take upon America's philosophies, America's ways. Next scripture I want to jump into is Isaiah 24. I'm going to start at verse 6. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and a few men left. The new wine mourneth, the vine languished, and all the merry-headed do sigh. The mirth of tabrets ceased, the noise of them that rejoice ended. The joy of the harp ceased, because people are they're not gonna be they're not gonna be singing and dancing and having a good time in these times. All that's gonna be put to an end. Matter of fact, um, I want to jump to another scripture, but I'll get that in a second. But people right now, so they party and they have their good time. That's what's going on right now. People are just it's all about having fun. Verse 9. They shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. So when the Most High changes up and starts bringing these calamities upon America and start allowing these prophecies to sing louder and louder, it's going to get quieter and quieter for the partying, for the having a good time and loving life. It's already starting all across the world, but it just haven't settled in America yet. But it's coming. Verse 10. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man come in. The city of confusion is America. You know why it's the city of confusion is America, because there's nothing but confusion going on in here. This is the country you can go and you can eeny, meeny, miny, mo, pick a religion that you want to worship. That's just how it goes here. And more religions are basically coming up year by year. And then they push certain religions to the forefront. Christianity, Islam, and now this New Age religion is coming on real strong. It's all basically, that's all designed to pull you away from worshiping who you should worship if you're a Hebrew Israelite. There is a cry for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened, and the mirth of the land is gone. So there you have it. That mirth of the land is going to be gone. Why? Because the Most High is going to put an end to all that once these trials and tribulations start to affect everybody's dinner table, and everybody can't eat the way they was eating before, and people can't live the life they were living before. Then that's when all hell is going to be breaking out, and people are going to be crying in the streets. They're going to want. It says there's a cry for wine in the streets. Why? Because it's gonna be so much hell going on. People gonna want strong drink. All the joy is darkened, and the mirth of the land is gone. I mean, that partying and that bullshit is gonna be put to an end. And the city is left desolation, and the gates is smitten with destruction. With thus it shall be in the midst of the land, among the people, there shall be the shaking of an olive tree. And when you shake an olive tree, what's going to happen? Olive's going to fall down. Once the olive leaves the tree, it doesn't have the power of the life source that it once had when it was connected to the tree, and it starts the rotting process. And plus, that olive tree represents the nation of Israel. And as the gleaning grapes, when the vintage is done, the gleaning basically means a gathering. Let me pull a scripture pull up a definition of gleaning. Gleaning comes from the word glean, to gather by acquisition, scrape together, especially grain left in the field after the harvest, but the earliest in the English is figuratively from the Old French gleaner, to glean, to glean, make a collection of unknown origin. Figuratively, since the early English, then literally one of the gathering grains left by the reapers. The reapers, we all know, according to the scriptures, the reapers are the angels. So it says, when thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, which is that olive tree also represents the shaking when the missiles hit, and as the gleaning grapes when the vintage is done. We all know when the vintage is done, meaning America being destroyed, and the gleaning of grapes is the gathering of the elect being beamed up into the chariots. The reapers, the angels, coming gathering up the elect. There shall lift up their voice, they shall sing for the majesty of the Lord. That's exactly what the elect men, women, and children that be delivered are going to do. They're gonna praise the holy name. Their voice is gonna be lifted up, and they're gonna sing for being delivered. It says, they shall lift up their voice, they shall sing for the majesty of the Lord, they shall cry aloud from the sea. And the sea represents people. Wherefore glorify ye the Lord in the fires, even the name of the Lord, power of Israel, in the isles of the sea. Now the sea represents the people. I'm going to pull up a couple of scriptures. This is 2 Esdras 5 and 7. And the Sodomite sea shall cast out fish, and make a noise in the night, which many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof. The Sodomite sea represents peoples, and the casting out of fish represents the different doctrines out there, and making a noise represents confusion. The confusion in the night represents darkness. People can't see. And how we prove that? By going to Revelations 17 and get to the 15th verse, and it says, and he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So it's representing people. Those people are that's talking about is going to be talking about the elect men, their women, their children, and the different, friends and helpers of the friends of the prophets, or whoever else the Most High may have bestowed mercy upon. Those are the people that are starting from here in America and from the different isles. Which when you look up that word isles, let me get that. Isles mean coastline, coast, island, shores, region. So it can be from any parts of the earth, whether it's from the coast or the islands or the shores or different regions of the earth. So because the Most High is going to be delivering the those that will be delivered out of America from the destruction, but then the angels are going to go across the four corners of the earth, reaping up the chosen men, women, and children. So with that, this is going to be a conclusion to part one, because I hope, Lord willing, if it be the Most High's will, I could do a part two, which will go into the destruction of America. With that, I want to say all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, peace and salutations to the hopeful elect brothers out there that's doing this work and keeping the faith and believing. Shalom.